somewhere, out there, someone needs Dr. Henry.
I was raised in a broken and abusive household.
This chicken is cold.
When I turned 17, I ran away to Hong Kong, where I met triad boss Kenny Wu, my first love.
Bitch, this chicken is cold.
You see, I wrote a poem about a...
That's my toilet with my face on it.
The JoJo toilet. The fucking JoJo toilet, as if the fucking car with nothing but your face fucking plastered all over it wasn't bad enough. Like, who did she commission that from? What the hell?
Say, look at this. I've been cleaning out my nest, and I found an old book of my poetry.
The revolution will be televised.
We're here to tell you all about a picture that you rave about. It's funny, sexy, and the best place to turn for all tunes Nickelodeon.
Like Maynard. You see all these people out here on the street, Annie? See, they got blue. Let's listen to his song, and maybe he'll tell us why.
Sometimes and throw both your hands.
Excuse me, guys. We're looking for Hollywood.
You know, I've been coming down with a serious case of the Hollywood blues recently. Don't know what the Hollywood blues is? Well, it'll make you want to holler sometimes and throw up both your hands.
Oh, here's a poem that I never finished. Let's see.
One of the prices of fame is being turned into a product by others that may legally have control over you, and a great example of being turned into a product is celebrity endorsement media. As in, media starring the famous celebrity as themselves. This is often just a selling point. And there are two types of celebrity endorsement media. Just absolute corporate dog shit or underrated classics that probably got no attention because most people assumed they were absolute corporate dog shit. And because these are made to turn a product, hence the celebrity lead, they are often not good. Because an artist being given an opportunity, typically to do whatever they want or whatever the studio says, is a brand new artistic opportunity. And it depends how well that opportunity is taken for the artist. Whether it's a mainstream film or television, a new creative opportunity is presented, and sometimes it's allowed to be taken advantage of. Now, I've talked about two cartoons of this genre on this channel before, the Jojo and Bobo Show and the Slim Shady Show. And the Slim Shady Show is the absolute worst piece of shit I've ever seen in my entire life.
Hey, Neverlast, what happened to House of Shame, huh? Can't jump around with the fucking homies no more, can ya?
Guys, I gotta admit, some of the later Judgmental Day, early Corona Vacation episodes were a little mean-spirited at times. There's times where I was a little harsh. Like, the Angry Birds movie 2, for example, like, it wasn't worth getting that mad over. I don't really like the movie that much, but, like, it's not as bad as I may portray it to be.
Yay! Yeah!
However, one thing I gave extremely harsh criticism to, that I still stand by was deserved, was the Jojo and Bobo Show. And this show is bafflingly lazy and surprisingly underdeveloped in nearly every aspect. Like, it's actually puzzling how underdeveloped it is. Then a couple months later, I talked about the Slim Shady Show, which, like I said, is the worst fucking piece of shit I've ever seen in my entire life. Even worse than the Jojo and Bobo Show. However, surprisingly, I don't think I was harsh enough towards the show, so definitely expect a Slim Shady Show revisited in the future. But on the subject of Jojo Siwa celebrity self-insert media, we have the 2021 movie, The J-Team. And it is not an outlier of its genre, and to put it into perspective as to how bad the movie is, we're gonna have to contextualize fully what it is on principle. It is a Nickelodeon celebrity endorsement Jojo Siwa movie. First, let's talk about Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon is dead, truly a shell of the titan it once was, which is probably the least controversial statement in this video. There's already like 1,000 videos talking about the artistic downfall of Nickelodeon in much more depth than me, so I won't go too deep here. But Nickelodeon started out as the channel number C3, the first all-children's network in 1977, under the cable system QB, which later acquired the name Pinwheel. which was named after the show Pinwheel. And Pinwheel, despite its somewhat obscure status and obvious similarities to Sesame Street, it's fairly important to the network's history. And given that it was the title of the network, it was the main bread and butter for over a decade. And after Pinwheel ended, the golden age of the network truly began. You might recognize the infamous Clockman segment, which was repurposed on it.
Oh boy, Nickelodeon's very own Peppermint Park. Don't think we're done with that shit.
But eventually the network's name was changed to Nickelodeon. And if you don't know what Nickelodeon mean, it's an old theatrical term referencing the price of admission being a nickel and Odeon coming from the Greek terminology of theater. And they actually lived up to the name with this odd vaudeville theming aesthetic, which is kind of very out of place for a children's network, especially the first all-children's network. Like, are they airing shit from the Great Depression? Does Joe Biden watch this network? But in the 80s, when Pinwheel was still airing, they really began to experiment with all different types of content to see what worked. Hell, in 1991, they introduced Nicktoons to the network, which was a risk that definitely paid off. Something the network was initially against because cartoons are expensive then and now. And the 90s is considered the golden age of Nickelodeon, and that's not my opinion, that's pretty much the internet's opinion. So they weren't really around for most of the 70s. The 80s was mostly experimentation. But then in the 90s, those experimentations paid off, essentially. And the 90s had so many certified hood classics. And by certified hood classics, I just mean well-respected properties. I don't have to have seen them, or even personally like them. But if you just Google shows from that time, like, there's way more iconic and recognizable stuff from the 90s. But then, it's not the 90s anymore. All the 90s kids grew up. So you figured Nick got bad because all the 90s kids realized it turned to shit. But no, shockingly, that's not the case. The shows, at least in terms of public opinion about them, did not age poorly. The network's golden age just did not become synonymous with multiple generations. So what the hell happened to the network's artistic integrity? Well, the 2000s still had plenty of certified hood classics, definitely not as many as the 90s, but by the 2010s, there were barely any certified hood classics. Like, are you gonna steal anybody's bitch with a breadwinner shirt on? Come on. And don't get me wrong, every decade has certified hood classics. I'm not dismissing it entirely. I'm just saying the amount of hate bandwagons for specific properties only increases with each decade after the 90s. Not that the 70s through 90s were perfect or anything, but there's a lot more respected shows. And now in the 2020s, which I know we're quite early into the decade, but like still, there's not many well-respected properties. And I would argue Nickelodeon has been in this state since about the mid to late 2000s. They found out what worked and what succeeded artistically, and what worked and what succeeded was repeated until it's on its last legs, and it's been in its last legs for nearly 2 decades. Despite it being widely agreed that the network is artistically dead, it is by no means financially dead. They just found out what worked and took no risks ever again. Every company wants a Mickey Mouse, and with SpongeBob, they found their Mickey Mouse. And part of the reason why they've been running the show into the ground is because rerunning it fucking works. Everyone likes SpongeBob, or at least parts of it. Like my mom still quotes, "Is mayonnaise an instrument?" to this day. Nickelodeon found their gold tickets and took the money and fucking ran with it. I mean, like, yeah, their numbers for cable are declining, but, like, cable is declining in general. And it's not like they care about the artistic integrity because they're already making money. Why should we try? Now, me, I was born in the W. Bush administration, so as a result, I was not a huge Nickelodeon kid growing up. In fact, I am actually not surprised at all that I was not a Nickelodeon kid growing up. In fact, I probably watched more Nick at Night in Noggin way more than just mainstream Nick. If you don't know, Noggin was the name of the Nick Jr. network before the current Nick Jr. network. Noggin still exists as a company. The network was named after the company, and it even got resurrected as a streaming service. And it's a division of the Children's Entertainment Workshop, now known as Sesame Workshop, which makes Sesame Street. Guys, Noggin was the shit back in the day. When Cartoon Network ended at 8 o'clock, back when it ended at 8, you had two options, King of the Hill or Full House reruns.
Sure, anything.
You're my dad, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So where's my mom?
I'm sorry, but your mom died when you were just a little girl.
Hey, that's not a guy. That was my best friend in high school. Let's not kill him. Let's watch King of the Hill.
Gather round and join.
Want another King of the Hill break? Just one thing. That's over. Full House is on. Let's watch it. Okay, let's watch Full House.
Toast.
In fact, I actually remember when Noggin got changed to Nick Jr. the channel.
In fact, we are delighted to say Noggin is now Nick Jr. Hooray! Take a bow, Z.
And that gravitated me towards Vanilla Nick.
Moose here. Blue's Clues is coming up next. But first, it's puzzle time. Feast your eyes on this. We call this large fella Biggie.
That California town.
And I didn't really fall out of love with Vanilla Nick the Network, but I did fall out of love for two shows. SpongeBob and Fairly Odd Parents. I liked other stuff on the network. I liked Fanboy and Chum Chum and Tough Puppy. I thought those were decent watches. But I didn't love anything besides Fairly Odd Parents and SpongeBob. Like, I actually watched a lot of Nick stuff from the 90s when I was a kid, too. Again, excluding Fairly Odd Parents and SpongeBob. And Fairly Odd Parents and SpongeBob went into seasonal rot and are continued to be run to the ground to this day. SpongeBob with its main series continuing and getting spin-offs and continuous movies, and the Fairly Odd Parents getting additional series, one of which isn't even out yet. And there's one thing I definitely learned from Fairly Odd Parents and SpongeBob, is that good shows can have bad episodes. And in the context of SpongeBob, there is definitely more bad episodes than good.
Duh.
Patrick, look, we've all grown tits.
Yeah, I know.
What? How do you know?
Because I've secretly been putting estrogen in all your Krabby Patties, so you would grow tits.
Patrick, you brainless imbecile.
Really, Patrick? Really?
Meow. Patrick, why would you do that?
Duh, because I like titties.
And the Fairly Odd Parents, I'm not sure if there's more bad episodes than good, but there's a shitload of bad episodes.
Timmy Turner, how dare you poop on the screen while we were watching the Lego movie?
But then again, SpongeBob's main series still continues to this day.
What's a die? It's when you die and you're dead, and your body parts come off.
I was actively in denial when I realized that I am actively not starting to enjoy SpongeBob anymore. Like, I know this is a very cliche thing to complain about, but I completely agree with it. I got really sick of Squidward torture episodes and Patrick being a dumbass episode.
Meanwhile, security system takes control of Squidward's house and begins attacking the city.
These three do not deserve to have jobs. They deserve to be fired immediately and blacklisted.
Fuck this episode!
No, it's freaking SpongeBob! SpongeBob's able to get away with anything because it's popular, and it's an excuse for parents to get their TV to babysit their kid.
You can go way too far, and if you don't know what I mean, then you're about to cringe real hard. There's an episode called The Splinter, and it's known for making its viewers cringe.
A few moments later.
Like, I remember anytime the episode The Card came on, I just fucking changed the channel. And keep in mind, I was watching SpongeBob from the late 2000s to the early 2010s, which was far past its declared golden age. So I think that could give you a good idea as to what type of episodes I'd see a lot.
Ugh. Ew. Ugh. Meow. Oops, I guess I shit my pants again. Meh. Why the fuck does he keep doing that? Meow! It's fucking disgusting!
And then my hatred for SpongeBob progressed. In fact, there was a period of like a couple years where I just hated the show entirely. I want to say from about ages 8 to 11. And of course, I realized eventually that by the time I was even born, it was past its prime. My falling out of love for Fairly Odd Parents was a lot less gradual. I mentioned previously that the special Timmy's Secret Wish made me give up on the show. Like, I saw that shit and then I just shut it off. I popped in like Simpsons Season 4 on DVD and then just never watched the Fairly Odd Parents until I was like 16 ever again.
Timmy Turner, how dare you poop on the screen while SpongeBob and his friends were watching the Lego Movie?
So not that the 2010s doesn't have well-respected properties, but the 2010s amount of respected Nickelodeon properties has absolutely nothing on the 90s and even 2000s. By the strike of the new millennium, I think they figured out what worked, but what worked hadn't been run to the ground yet. Like, they were rinsing and repeating the same type of shit, but like, they weren't out of soap yet. By the time I started watching Nick, they were far out of soap. So I really didn't fall in love with Nick to begin with, besides those two shows, which I failed to realize was just a result of seasonal rot. But Nickelodeon somewhere in the 2000s went full corporate and has none of the experimental aspects of the 80s and 90s, which made them stand out, which made them realize what worked to begin with. And they found what worked, rinse and repeat, and they're still rinsing and repeating. Which brings us to our next topic, celebrity endorsement media, which they have made. Now, the previously mentioned Jojo and Bobo show and the Slim Shady Show are examples of celebrity endorsement media that most of the genre consists of. However, there are outliers, don't get me wrong. The two best pieces of celebrity endorsement media, at least in my opinion, are Class of 3000 and the Beatles' Yellow Submarine, which are great outliers to the quality standards of the genre. This shit was way more common in the 70s and 80s, which had lots of reskins of previous shows, but do still pop up from time to time, of course. But the two previously mentioned outliers, Yellow Submarine and Class of 3000, I think there was some balance between each side of the collaboration, both between the musical artists and the cartoonists. Starting with Class of 3000, Andre 3000 was one of the members of the duo Outkast, who was actually heavily involved in the show. Andre 3000 never really had a solo studio album, but he does have a forgotten collaboration with Cartoon Network. And this show single-handedly has the greatest soundtrack I've ever seen to a musical cartoon on television. Disclaimer, I have not seen all of Phineas and Ferb, but because an actual notable artist had heavy involvement, it did succeed. Of course, he didn't have an involvement in every aspect, I suppose, but it had tons of notable Cartoon Network producers and voice actors, so I'm gonna assume Andre had some creative limitations, which definitely helped the quality of the show. It's one of the most experimental and underrated Cartoon Network shows in my opinion. It's a little difficult to find, but if you like Outkast or Phineas and Ferb, I recommend checking it out. Then the previously mentioned Beatles' Yellow Submarine, which the actual members didn't have a whole lot to do with. They didn't even voice their self-inserts in the movie, but the fact that the members didn't have complete creative control over the project is actually a benefit here. They were definitely less involved than Andre was with Class of 3000. The film is a great watch. It's like Alice in Wonderland on LSD, and I say that because it puts Alice in Wonderland to shame with that. Like, there is no attachment to reality, but it still remains consistent in its inconsistencies. Like, every location is its own individual painting, essentially. It's beautiful. And despite the fact that the actual members didn't have heavy involvement, it's still a masterpiece in my eyes. Also a bit hard to come by, but also a great watch. It was directed by the 60s pop art artist George Dudding, making it a fantastic collaboration, even if the Beatles weren't really that involved. So both of these succeeded because they had people that knew what the fuck they were doing, on top of notable musicians not having complete creative control over the project. So let's go over some other examples of this genre. Hammerman, a cartoon where they got MC Hammer to actually rap the theme song.
So Gramps opened up the bag and took out the magical shoes.
So Gramps opened up the bag and took out the magical shoes is gotta be one of the hardest lyrics of all time. Not as hard as I Don't Like Candy Corn. Oh, Vanilla Ice had a movie. I'm not even gonna write a joke about this movie. I'm just gonna play a clip. The joke writes itself. I did not edit this. Can't forget Pro Stars, where Michael Jordan, Wayne Gretzky, and Bo Jackson are superheroes. Why? Fuck it, Gary Coleman, the fucking cartoon. Like, all he did was say, "What you want, Willis?" Did he really deserve a cartoon? Was that catchphrase really that fucking funny? Oh, look, Ellen had a cartoon. As if the Ellen show wasn't bad enough. Okay, this isn't technically a celebrity endorsement cartoon, but it's definitely fucking relying on him. But Snoop Dogg has a YouTube kids channel called Doggyland, which is consistently unintentionally hilarious.
It's time to roll, let's find a seat. High five, come on, we got barks a lot. Yap, yap, and wags all aboard the bus. Let's head to class.
Hey, yo, the pizza here. Oh, nigga!
Influential, it's so educational, and it's so fundamentally smart. The way we put it together with song, dance, and education.
In fact, it's even made by the same team as Hip Hop Harry, which is also consistently unintentionally hilarious.
Yes, Elizabeth.
I learned what flavor is today.
Who knew our tongues were so cool?
So most celebrity endorsement media is dog shit. But there's some outliers, but most of it is dog shit. And the Jojo and Bobo show is fucking dog shit. But the Jojo and Bobo show never got a season 3. Tragic, I know. But Jojo Siwa did get a celebrity endorsement movie. But not just a movie, a musical.
There's lightning!
Rest in peace, Olivia Newton-John.
So I imagine there's some alternate timeline where we got a 3rd season of the show rather than a movie, but it's basically just Jojo and Bobo show season 3. It's not much of a success, but it's definitely spiritual. Jojo went on that, like, painfully unfunny, unnecessarily political talk show, starring Jimmy. No, not that one. Well, yeah, that's basically the same thing, but his name isn't Jimmy, even if he is painfully unfunny and unnecessarily political. Yeah, that motherfucker. But she announced that her and her friends at Nickelodeon are developing a musical, the gayest movie genre.
I am so excited. Me and my friends at Nickelodeon, we are making a musical.
I love the most.
Do you have a title?
We do. It's called The J Team.
The J Team! I'm on the J Team!
You're
That's
on
me.
the J Team!
Jimmy's on the
That's
J
you.
Team!
Which brings us to our final thing to contextualize, Jojo Siwa.
Hey, you guys! Good morning, every single student who's out there. This is Dad, little baby. World is going to do the biggest epic watches. I'm going to teleport to right up there. You ready? 3, 2, 1. You guys, that is how you do.
City of the angels, pretty.
My mom says you scream a lot.
Your mom said I scream a lot?
I did not say that. I said you need to scream a lot. Like Jojo, you need to keep your volume up like...
Wait, Jojo babysitted Kanye's daughter? Jojo based in Red Pilled? What? Jojo Siwa is possibly the greatest YouTuber of all time. And that is exactly why she deserves a movie. Which brings us to the combination of this unholy trilogy, the J Team.
Pretty city of the angels.
Now it's time for Blues Clues.
Blues Clues enhances preschoolers' problem solving and metacognition.
Notebook, I'm surprised you even have a wife judging by your look. Let's all go find Blues Clues. Here's our clue. Your hairstyle makes you look like a Jew.
We have an incredible director. We have an incredible writer. Obviously, my friends at Nickelodeon.
So the film was directed by Michael and Beck, who directed Tooth Fairy, a movie where The Rock is the Tooth Fairy, rated PG. which was a movie I absolutely hated growing up. It probably made me gain consciousness out of anger. So that's a good sign, right? Now the film went straight to Paramount Plus because most theaters are dying, and that's what was popular then and now. Inner city Hollywood blues makes you want to holler sometimes and throw up both your hands. But JoJo might be popular, but she ain't gonna make Marvel movie money. It's 2021, motherfucker. So it was probably the most financially responsible option to not release it in theaters. And unsurprisingly, there is not a balance between the artist and the filmmaker creatively, and it has to be the worst fucking musical I've ever seen in my entire life. Wait, does Rhapsody Street Kids count?
I've been a good boy through the year, you better know it. Get ready, Santa Claus, to start decking the halls with gifts from my Christmas list.
Oh, and I guess Nostalgia Critic The Wall.
Have become comfortably dumb.
The best way to describe this musical is that it's a jukebox musical without the jukebox that's also a 90-minute music video. And a jukebox musical uses pre-existing songs to elevate a narrative. And this movie has alternate versions of pre-existing songs, but only 2 of them, but otherwise original songs for the movie. But all the songs, especially the original ones, feel extremely disconnected. It feels like they were repurposed like it was a jukebox musical. But I say jukebox musical without the jukebox because it feels like it's repurposed, but besides alternate versions of pre-existing songs, there was no jukebox to begin with. None of the songs feel like they were written for the movie at all, which a majority of them actually were, but it doesn't fucking feel like that in a narrative context. It's like the network was like, hey JoJo, make an album, and they just Google Drive the files back over, and then they just put that shit in the script. Like, why aren't the songs in this movie connected to the narrative at all? It feels so out of place.
It's not good. It doesn't even work.
And due to the conditions of not using music to tell the story, like, every other fucking scene that's not a musical number is just a fucking exposition dump. Now, Jojo Siwa would technically qualify as a music YouTuber, or at least was a music YouTuber. And music YouTubers don't typically do albums, rather single for every song. It's just a different industry standard for a different side of the industry. I have no problem with it, I'm just acknowledging the difference. So Jojo never technically had a studio album. Just a bunch of singles which were released with the music videos, and one EP, JoJo's Rockin' Christmas. Oh, so that's why the suicide rates go up during the holidays.
There's 6 original songs on the soundtrack, and then 2 of my old songs, but one of them is like a full revamped remix, and it's so much fun. But from the 6 original songs, I created 27 to narrow it down to 6.
Even if they weren't repurposed, it sure fucking feels like it. Like, each plot point doesn't have a song about it. The songs are just there in between the plots. I have never seen this issue with a musical before, but no, they actually somehow fucked up the most essential part to making a musical: music for the fucking story. It's music, but not for the story. And unsurprisingly, the songs are awful, primarily out of a lack of narrative reference. Like, they sound like shitty kids boppy enough, but like, the fact that it has nothing to do with the movie makes them even worse. The production on the music doesn't even make it seem like it's logically taking place in the same universe. Like, you can immediately tell when the song starts because none of the characters' voices sound like that. The production is also irrelevant on top of the lyrics. But let's look at the lyrics to the opening number. The lyrics don't tell us anything about anything besides, I guess, JoJo likes to dance. But then the first scene after is just a complete fucking exposition dump. Like, you could have actually both saved time for the movie and made an interesting presentation if all of this information was conveyed through the music. None of the music has anything to do with the story, and it's insulting to watch. But JoJo's dance instructor retires and gets a new coach, Coach Poppy, who is the antagonist of this movie. And this first non-musical scene sets up the entire movie perfectly. Musical number that doesn't have to do anything with anything, shitty exposition dump, rinse and repeat for 90 minutes. Like, not one of the characters besides JoJo sing. Like, why is JoJo the only singer on this musical? How do you screw this up this badly? Like, why isn't Coach Poppy doing the supervillain shuffle? And I'm being serious, like, why does she not have a villain song? Why do you make a musical with a villain and not have a villain song? What the fuck?
This is like George Orwell's book, 1984.
If there is one thing I have to say about the song, is that I thought there was one clever use of wordplay in the song You and I, with the main chorus all consisting of words that start with the combination of 3 letters, which all relate to the audience. That's a clever use of wordplay. It sounds like shit, but it's a clever use of wordplay. So Coach Poppy is like super evil because she wears black, and I think this was an intentional color choice, but completely fails as an intentional color choice. Like, look at how depressing this suburban neighborhood is. Shouldn't it look like JoJo's closet threw up everywhere? This looks like a fucking 1920s murder drama. Guys, Coach Poppy, I'm so threatening because I'm wearing black, even though it's a mostly dull environment. So it fails as a complete subversion. Like, look at this shot here. She's barely fucking visible because everything is so dark. Why is this movie so dark? It's not even like a good gritty dark. It's just shit dark. Like, look at these characters' outfits. Why is it so sad? Good vibes? What fucking good vibes? It looks like somebody died. Wait, it was Nickelodeon. But get this, JoJo gets kicked off the dance team because she wears high tops in color and bows. Oh no, what a threatening conflict. So we're supposed to feel bad for JoJo. But later, Coach Poppy and her crew is actually being seen winning at things, meaning the film's logic of what is considered immoral contradicts itself. Like, this point in the plot makes Coach Poppy look good, but we're not supposed to think she's good because of the color symbolism, which it fails at, but it's clearly trying to be symbolic of its color palette. Which means, of course, that nobody does anything wrong the whole movie, which fails to create a hero-villain dynamic. Like, if you want to kick JoJo off the team, have her or Poppy actually do something immoral. And, like, I'm pretty sure this story is supposed to have a moral, so, like, it could have benefited it. Don't get me mistaken for those 80s soccer moms that everything has to have a moral. I don't think everything has to have a moral, but when you fail at your moral, it's very fucking distracting and it could have benefited from it. And apparently, early drafts of the movie had Coach Poppy containing more parallels to Abby Lee Miller. Yo, back when Musical.ly was the shit, yeah, remember that shit? You just had to follow JoJo from Dance Moms. Abby Lee Miller was the main sport instructor slash host of the show. And let's talk about Dance Moms for a second. Dance Moms is fucking awful. In fact, it's probably the worst show I've ever seen that's like actually successful. I really don't like to shit on people for liking certain art. Like whatever you want, but like, this is one of the few things that would leave my head scratching because of what the show mostly consists of. There are 2 main parts of the show. 45-year-old divorced women scream at each other and children, and half-naked children dance. This shit is on IMDb. I'm clearly not alone on this. It's very uncomfortable to watch sometimes.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Now, of course, Dance Moms is reality TV, and reality TV, despite the name, is infamous for lack of realism. And it doesn't matter if this shit is fake or real, it's still fucking insufferable to watch. And Abby Lee Miller is not a charismatic lead or coach whatsoever.
I could probably make a kid cry in 30 seconds. I know exactly what to say to a child to make them run to their mother and then get their mother all ticked.
And there's a huge difference between disciplinary host and complete fucking cunt, but Abby sure does love screaming at children and divorced 45-year-old women.
You made fun of my kid all year that she's some kind of brat, and she's not. She asked you a nice question, and you're the brat.
But Dance Moms, unsurprisingly, is no stranger to large quantities of scandals within the production. I won't go into that shit, but there's like a ton of videos already discussing that.
Don't have an attitude that you are entitled in this world. You are not. You deserve nothing else. You earn it. You can't stand here and cry. I want no crying children.
You made her cry to begin with, you dumb shit. Like, the children on this show, when it was filmed, are more fucking mature than the apparent professional host running the show. But unsurprisingly, She went to prison for bankruptcy fraud, and apparently dealt with gang violence in prison, and not that she deserves physical violence, but like, I'm not surprised everyone in the jailhouse wants to murder you. Like, you fucking scream at children in person on television. So Abby Lee Miller, pretty antagonistic figure, perfect for a movie antagonist. And apparently, that stuff was cut. Jojo said it wasn't a dig at her, which is technically true in context. But if the stuff was ever in the movie, it was a huge missed opportunity. But Jojo gets kicked off the dance team, and she has to form her own team, consisting of these characters who just come out of nowhere. Like, guys, this supporting cast is so epic. Girl. Girl. Oh, I know that one, girl. This entire supporting cast is fucking awful. Like, even the Jojo and Bobo show had more interesting supporting characters. Like, one of her friends is a DJ, one can skydive, one is a chef, one is an artist.
Side here to show you some love from across the pond.
Oh my god, Jojo, seriously, a British friend? You can't have a British friend, you live in America. America! Fuck yeah! Hell, even Fred the Movie 3, Camp fucking Fred, has better side characters, and they're just all cookie cutter stereotypes. Like nerd, fat kid, black kid, Asian girl who eats a lot. And you know when I am praising the Jojo and Bobo show and Fred the Movie 3, something is seriously wrong. I mean, like, Bobo is in the movie. They didn't make her talk like Marmaduke or anything, but like, she's there, fan service, I guess. So Jojo and her epic team of extremely fucking boring side characters do epic Fortnite dances and beat the coach in the competition. And then everything's hunky-dory the end. But the thing about the dance choreography for this movie is that it's basically non-existent and there's surprisingly too much dancing. I know too much dancing might seem like an odd complaint for the musical, but there's no time to breathe and there's no interesting camera work to complement the movement. Like, there's ways you could still be comically expressive without just busting it down. Like, Jojo, I get those Fortnite dances are really epic, but we're trying to concentrate. In fact, the musical numbers choreography in this movie is very resemblant of Dance Moms. It's just around the stage. It's fucking boring. And when it's not being boring, it's just being obnoxious.
That's the only place I really...
So in conclusion, the J-Team is everything wrong with modern Nickelodeon, both artistically and morally. Shit show, both the movie and the show that happened behind the scenes, if you know what I'm saying. But we ain't done with Nickelodeon just yet. We done with Jojo Siwa, I fucking unironically, but we ain't done with Nickelodeon yet. The motherfucking saga continues. The most requested topic since 2018 that I haven't done, we're finally gonna do.